This episode is sponsored by the Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. October entertainment includes Easton Corbin on the 11th and Dirty Honey on the 12th. Plus, don't miss a minute of football season. Join us in the sportsbook with a tailgate party on October 27th. Visit HollywoodCasino.com to see how you can reserve your package. Must be 21 to enter the casino floor and attend a show. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome to the newest episode of Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. I'm your host, Jason Fraley, picking the brains of the top filmmakers, musicians, and artists of our time. Country music icon Doug Stone performs live at the Rams Head in Annapolis, Maryland this Friday night. He joined me to preview the show and reflect on his biggest hits, like I'd Be Better Off in a Pine Box, Too Busy Being in Love, and Why Didn't I Think of That? Hey, Doug Stone. Hey, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We are talking to the country legend Doug Stone, who's coming to the Rams Head in Annapolis, Maryland, this Friday, October 11th. And it's sort of like a double bill, right? You're touring with your pal Terry McBride. Everyone remembers McBride and the Ride, all those songs like Love on the Loose, all that. And he also wrote for, Brooks and Dunn and Reba and all kinds of stuff. But between the two of you, you're going to have a hard time cutting down the set list. You guys have hits on hits for days. So what's it been like touring with Terry?
It's a lot of fun. I get to hear all his stories about, how he got into the writing and who he wrote for and how everything went. And he tells a lot of good stories. Really, it's very entertaining.
And I'm sure he'd say the same about you. And I miss that early 90s country music sound, man. There are good songwriters still going today, God bless them. But, man, that early country 90s sound when you first came on the scene I miss that. What are your thoughts on sort of that?
Well, I really got lucky. I stepped into something really good. It was kind of like the stars just aligned for 10 years. Everybody had a distinctive voice. You knew who it was as soon as the record came on. And, just everybody sounded like somebody else. We didn't sound alike at all. And it was really fun listening to the other guys and girls coming out with stuff while you were on the charts, So it was a lot of fun, man.
That's such a good point. Yeah, you could hear it on the radio and you would instantly be like, oh, that's a Randy Travis voice. Oh, that's a Doug Stone voice. Oh, that's a Reba voice. They were distinctive. They were all their own thing. Well, we can get into more of that in a second. But in terms of the show itself coming up here in Annapolis, is it going to be like a greatest hits journey? Or are you dropping in anything new, any cool covers? Tease the set a little bit.
Well, we really never know what we're going to do because we just kind of listen to the crowd, and sometimes they'll spit out a song. We'll go, oh yeah, I can do that one, So it's a lot of fun. We just kind of like banter back and forth, and he'll tell his story, and then I'll tell my stories, and then we get to do the songs behind the stories, so it's really interesting. It's kind of like a behind the music thing.
I love it. Well, hopefully this conversation can be a little beyond the music as well. So let's move somewhat chronologically and remind folks some of the big hits that they might hear, when they come out to the Rams Head. But I know you were born in Georgia in 1956. Great year, by the way. That was what John Wayne's The Searchers. Like, that was a good year. But what movies did you watch growing up? What music did you listen to growing up? I want to know sort of your formative, when Doug Stone was just a little Dougie Stone, when he was a Pebble, when he was Doug Pebble. What were you watching and listening to?
Well, I grew up just like everybody else around that time. There was like three different kinds of music. You had country, you had rock and roll, and then you had pop, and I got into all of it. I just love music, I guess. I mean, I love classical music, you name it, I love it. There's some music I don't, but I would slam it because somebody's making money doing it, and that's the main thing, is making a living.
Right.
That's all we're trying to do, and do what we love to do while we're doing it.
Absolutely. And you did it just as good as anyone there, as we're about to, chronicle here. So I know that first big breakthrough album was in 19, I guess 90. I mean, multiple chart climbing hits on there, of course, but I want to focus on I'd Be Better Off in a Pine Box. Man, one of my personal all-time favorite, like my wife catch me singing it in the shower. Like I love this freaking song. And I'm not alone. Like CMT voted it like one of the top 100 country songs of all time. Like I'm not alone in that. But what I love about it is how you sort of ramp up to a final chorus that can only describe as like epic. Like it, like certain phrases you have earlier in the song, you sort of like are more subdued and you drop low, and then you elevate for that last one. So like, what's an example? It's like, oh yeah, so doing time. It's early, it's low and slow, and then later it's doing time. It's like a harmony. Or go to hell and face the devil. You belt it. So yeah, tell me about the idea of like kind of going low and slow, and then you knew in the back of your mind that final the finale you were gonna just like melt our faces.
Well, it's kind of like making love. You start off kissing, and then you end up with everything else. And you just build. You build the song bigger and bigger and bigger
Yeah.
until you get to the end of it, and it's like out the roof.
Out the roof of a pine box of a coffin. I mean, that is as country as, I mean, it's kind of like George Jones. He stopped loving her today. They had to place a wreath up on his door. Like that's like, but that's real country music. Is I would be better off in a pine box than watching my ex seeing him with some other guy. Like that is as country as it gets, my friend. Oh, I love
I
it.
hear you. Well, it's really funny you should say that because when I do my live shows, I talk to people. I go, well, I don't have the saddest song that's ever been written. George Jones does, you know, and because see, in my song, my guy's just thinking about it.
Right.
I think I'd rather die and go to hell and face the devil. But his guy did die, so
Yeah. His is
he's
past
got some
tense. He
sadness.
stopped. He stopped loving her. It's past tense. He's done.
Yeah, he's
Yours is
done.
more yours is more pining about it, pun intended. Wow. Awesome. Well, it gets you Grammy nominated for Best Male Country Vocal Performance, and I know you were up you didn't win sadly, but Vince Gill's When
Vince
I
Gill.
Call Your Name. He's
That's
the
okay.
voice of an angel.
Oh yeah. Well, when I first heard Vince Gill was in the '80s with a song called Oklahoma Borderline.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, well, he's going to be big. And then nothing. I didn't hear nothing from the rest of the '80s.
Well, wasn't he
And
singing background on Pure Prairie League even before that? Like
yeah, yeah,
Amy? Yeah, yeah.
yeah. He was in the group, I think.
Yeah, he went Amy. He was harmonizing, I think.
Yeah, and he did a lot of harmony on other people's records. Patty Loveless and God knows who all. He's sung with. But yeah, he's a great guy. I got to play golf with him one day. Pretty good golfer too. Better than me for sure.
But sitting in the Grammy auditorium, like that must have been a whirlwind experience for you.
Well, when he won it over the rest of us, I thought, well, he deserves it because he's been trying so long, to get there. And then all of a sudden they just opened the doors and let everybody in.
Yeah.
It was something else.
That's great. That's great. Well, at that point, you're a household name for us country music fans, and then you followed up with that second album. I Thought It Was You. Of course, there was a hit title track, but I want to know about a jukebox with a country song. What you do with those swinging doors and the sawdust on the. I love the visual storytelling, but the thing that I always thought was funny is so you come out with that. Alan Jackson comes out with Don't Rock the Jukebox around the same time. Mark Chestnut's got Bubba Shot the Jukebox. And then Joe Diffie's got Prop Me Up Beside the Jukebox If I Die. And that's all between like 1991, 92, 93, all in the same kind of span of years. But is it an honor that you were on the Mount Rushmore of jukebox songs?
Oh, heck yeah, man. I'll never forget when I went into the office of the guy that picks my songs, when he's always looking for good material. He said, man, I got a song. The title's no good, but boy, does it really rock. He said, the title doesn't do it justice. And he's right. It turned out really good. I love that song.
It is, again, like all of your songs, like eternally singable. I love it. All right, third album, From the Heart. Let's go into Too Busy Being in Love. That is one of the most beautiful country songs. I always love all the pop culture references in there. You know, like could have written a movie for Hepburn and Tracy, and honestly, and I would, so as a young kid in the '90s, I would hear that and I'd be like, "What's Hepburn and Tracy?" Then I would double back, and then I'd go back and watch Adam's Rib and Woman of the Year. And so your songs help us discover some of this, or giving an old Mr. Shakespeare a run for his money. Is that the beauty of the song, dropping all the pop culture, or is it more just the message of, you know, that being in love and preserving love is equally important, if not more important than, you know, creating famous art?
Well, love is the answer to everything, really, because without it, there wouldn't be nobody here.
That's
Love's
true.
the beginning. I mean, that's God's love. It starts there.
Yeah.
And if you read the Bible and follow God, then you're gonna love your neighbor, and it's all gonna work out. That's what's wrong with our nation. They took God out of it.
Doug Stone he's preaching now. He's preaching. I
Oh,
love it. I love
don't
it.
get started.
I love it. I love, yeah. It'll be like Moses. It'll be Dugstone tablets.
Yeah,
I love it. Oh no, you feel free to say whatever you want on this interview, my friend. This is your space. All right, and I know that same album also had "Why Didn't I Think of That," which is just a really cool, like, you know, country music filled with, like, you know, the breakup songs. And but this one was cool because it was watching the ex's new boyfriend do all the right things that you wish you would have done when you were there, and it's like he sends her roses. You know, why didn't I think of that? But talk about how it's
yeah.
sort of it's an upbeat, clever, kind of bubblier, like the delivery of it's more upbeat and like kind of a catchy, clever vibe to what is usually like a heartbreaking theme, you know?
Yeah. When I first heard that, I mean, it was a terrible demo. Guys smacking on a cigar and everything else. I'm like, I'm supposed to hear this, I think.
Mhm.
But when I first heard it after we did it and he mixed it and everything, it blew me away. I was like, that's really me singing? He said, yeah. But I'd never had a producer that made me sing over and over and over to create the song. And it was very interesting the way we did it. After we did it, I really had to go back and learn the song.
Yeah.
Now, why didn't I think of that was one of the best songs we ever got to do? But yeah, a lot of fun.
Absolutely. All right, and then moving right along, and we won't hit all. There's literally no time to hit them all. I'm just gonna give folks a little bit of a teaser what they might hear when they come out to the show. But off of More Love, your fourth album, I Love, I Never Knew Love. In fact, my wife and I were just remarking about how we wanted to compliment you on like your vocal phrasing or your delivery of how you pause and repeat the line. You know, it's like I never knew love, but then you pause and it's like, no. I mean a real love. Like you stop, you pause and drive it home. What's the importance you think of that? Is it, you know, is it that like people say love all the time? They maybe some young puppy love kid, they say love, but they don't really know what it means. So is this, you know, is it important that you emphasize like, no, I mean like a real, like lifelong, like a mature, like a real love.
Like I'd give my life for you.
Right. Was it important to pause and emphasize that in that chorus?
Oh yeah. It's one of those things. When I do a song, I listen to the lyrics. That's the main thing to the song. And I try to, like you said, exploit those lyrics in a way where it makes the listener go, oh, yeah, or it changes their feelings. I feel like if you start a song and you get through the song and nothing changed in your emotions, then you didn't have a hit.
Yeah, exactly, because it's just on to the next song. But when you have moments like that make us pause and really think about it, then you remember the song and then you got a hit.
Frank Zappa, he said something one time that made a lot of sense. He said the most excitement you can cause in a song is total silence.
Wow. It's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, I think same as probably like filmmakers probably say the same thing, you know, as songwriters and singers like yourself. Like give the audience or the listener, the viewer, whatever, like time to kind of take it in. You can't just blow past it. Pacing is all it's what it's all about. All right, maybe time for one more. I love Little Houses off of your greatest hits. Maybe it's because we live in a little house. I don't know, but I love it. It's sort of the idea that love grows best in little houses, and I love sort of the how, you know, like all the great country songs, like one verse something means one thing, then it evolves to the next. Like I love that they're brushing past each other in the hallway in this little house, and then a little later in the song they can't even get past each other because she's pregnant with twins or something. But
Yeah.
and hey, the way the housing market is lately, maybe it's extra poignant now. But yeah,
Yeah. Really.
talk about how it's just sort of a beautiful idea of that, you don't need the big McMansions to be happy and grow a love in a family. Like sometimes, yeah, talk about how the intimate setting of a little house can be even better sometimes.
Well, it's like I lived in a 2-story house, and the kids, you can hear them running upstairs and everything. And then I got a divorce, and I was still in the house, and it was really weird not hearing nothing. And that's kind of what I equated to. You can hear people in the next room. They're okay because you can hear them. It's like my daughter now. She'll have her friends over, and they'll be in the room. All I hear is laughing. I don't know what they're laughing about, but it's good to hear laughter. It makes you feel good. She's having a good time.
Oh, I love that. Absolutely, absolutely. All right. I mean, you've been really generous with your time, but I wanted to remind folks, your career has transcended music sometimes because I want to hit Gordy, baby. 1995 came out the same year as Babe, but I know that was like the Oscar-winning visual effects and all that. Like it kind of got overshadowed in a way. But
let me ask you this though: what are the chances? I mean, Charlotte's Web came out years ago,
right?
And then there was no Pig movies, and then all of a sudden we have 2 in 1 year, and theirs gets an Oscar, and mine gets the Oscar Mayer.
that sounds like baloney to me, man.
I heard that. Well, it ain't a lot of bull.
Yeah, but hey, you know what? I think sometimes the universe, like it's probably like with song ideas, like we're talking about the 4 jukebox songs. Like I think ideas are just swirling out there in the universe and the cosmos and the heavens, and maybe just different writers or film directors or whatever just kind of maybe tap into that same energy at the same year. I don't know how to explain that, but Babe and Gordy, 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
And you're with the guy from Green Acres, right? Tom Lester was in that. Yeah.
I love Green Acres and Tom Lester, man. What a great guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he told me a lot while we were making the movie of, what to do and how to be. And, it was fun. He's passed away now, and I hate that for him.
Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you. Something more of a current event thing. Because any thoughts on the passing of Kris Kristofferson? He just passed away. That would be like the biggest news in country music, and just as a songwriter, man, like one of the best, right?
Oh my God, he wrote so many songs.
My favorite Kris Kristofferson song is one he wrote for Johnny Cash. Sunday Morning Coming Down. Wasn't it great?
Oh yeah, and he was a good actor too.
True.
That's not easy to do. Both of those. And Reba's done it. She's done really good. I watch her show a lot. But there's a lot of people that in country music that have moved over. It's just like Marky Mark. Mark Wahlberg. He went from singing to being one of the major actors out there.
Yeah. Kris should have been in Gordy with you.
Yeah, he should have.
No, he was in the Streisand version of A Star Is Born. I know there's been a million versions, but it was him and Streisand, yeah, back in the 70s.
Oh yeah, he did his acting awesome, great actor. And then the Highwaymen was really a cool thing with all Johnny and Waylon and Willie and the boys, more or less.
Did you just looking back Texas on me?
Let's go looking back Texas. Waylon and Willie
and the boys.
You've never heard somebody sound so much like somebody as Terry does. I hope he does his Willie impersonation because you think Willie's in the house.
Yeah, if you want to hear Terry McBride do Willie Nelson, come out to Rams Head in Annapolis. Well, hey, anything else you want to add? Just to invite our listeners to come on out to Annapolis. It's the capital of Maryland. It's a beautiful spot, and come see Doug Stone and Terry McBride. I can't think of a better way to spend your Friday night, baby.
It's been a while since I've been up there, so y'all got to come out and see us. It'll be a blast. You'll have fun. I guarantee it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for taking the time and do a little bit of a journey through your life and career from Doug Pebble to Doug Stone. I appreciate it. Now it's Doug Boulder, baby.
All right. Thanks, man.
Thanks. I appreciate you.
Same here.
God bless. See ya.
You too. God bless you.
Thanks so much for listening to Beyond the Fame with Jason Fraley. Our theme music is Scott Buckley's Clarion. Remember to give us a 5-star rating if you like what you hear. We'll see you next time.